Hey everyone, it's Wavy. Hope you guys are having a great day today, and welcome back to another Q&A Wednesday. I just received another question via my email box from one of you. This one's from Alan. I'll pop it up on screen so you guys can see, but it says, Wavy, I'm having a hard time with managing the workload of school and my goals and other aspects of my life, family, girlfriend, gym, etc. Any potential advice? I'm in college, by the way, been with my girlfriend for about a year and a half, and managed to keep off the freshman 15 so far, lol. With that said, I'm starting to slip up in school and having a hard time managing it all. Let me know. Alan. Well, Alan, this is a great question. I gotta say, though, you are not alone and actually probably doing better than me when I first started college. I actually didn't manage to keep off the freshman 15, but slowly, got them back down. But let's talk, all right? You're in college. You're juggling school, a relationship, the gym, and probably 100 other things you didn't even mention. And now things are starting to slip, and your grades aren't where you want them to be, and you're struggling kind of to keep everything in check. First of all, you got to acknowledge something really important about that. What you're feeling is normal for a lot of new students. I know that doesn't make it any easier, but let me just say that I've definitely been there, and I've probably done a little worse than you're doing. And at one point in college, I was drowning. I was trying to keep up with school, working to stay in school, and staying in shape, keeping up friendships, and maybe getting 5 hours of sleep a night if I was lucky. And some days it felt like I was sprinting on a treadmill, kind of working my ass off, but not actually getting anywhere. And the worst part, no matter what I focused on, I felt like I was letting something else slip. Balancing school and a relationship and everything else in my life was very tough for me. And the worst part, no matter what I focused on, I felt like I was letting something else slip. Like I try to really prioritize school, but then I'd feel guilty for missing a workout. I'd take more time for my relationship, but then stress about some unfinished assignments that I had. It was like no matter what I did, I really couldn't win. And I assume you're probably feeling the same way. So let's fix it, because you can get in control of it. It's not about doing it all. It's about knowing what matters most, making better choices, and using your time and energy the right way. So first, you got to stop trying to balance everything and start prioritizing. Here's the first big mindset shift. Balance is a myth. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone who's absolutely crushing school, spending quality time with their girlfriend or significant other, working out on a daily basis, never missing, hanging out with all of their friends, and getting 8 hours of sleep? No, because that person doesn't exist. What does exist are people who prioritize the right things at the right time. The life-siders approach. Imagine your life is a DJ mixing board, and each slider represents an important part of your life. So one is for school and career. You might have another that's for your health and fitness, another that's for your relationships and your social life, and then, the last one's mental health and fun. Most people think they have to keep all these sliders at 100% all the time. And for any DJs out there, no, that's impossible. What actually works is adjusting your focus based on what's most important to you right now. For example, if you have an exam coming up, turn up the school slider and lower social life a little bit for the time being. If you're feeling burnt out, turn up the mental health and fun slider and give yourself some rest time. If your relationship has been struggling, turn up the relationship slider and dedicate real quality time. The key is you don't have to do everything at once, but you do have to make intentional choices. Second, this is kind of how to get your grades back on track without studying 24/7. Listen, my girlfriend can tell you I am pretty damn good with not studying and just kind of getting by. I retain information very well. But let's talk about school. You said you're slipping, and I get it. Sometimes, no matter how much time you put in, it feels like you're just not getting ahead. And the problem really isn't effort, it's efficiency. I've come to realize after my time in school that there are really two types of students in college. You have the hustler, which spends hours in the library, highlighting everything, constantly stressed, and still managing to scrape by. And the second, you got the strategist. He studied less, but got better grades. The difference? The strategist studied smarter, but not harder. Here's how to actually improve your grades without spending all of your free time studying. A popular one is the 80-20 rule. You got to focus on what actually matters. So 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. So instead of blindly studying everything, go through some past exams. Professors love reusing those questions, trust me. You got to identify key concepts and instead of trying to really memorize everything. And you got to focus on understanding the material instead of just passively reading through it and trying to understand the words on the page. The second is like active recall. This is pretty cool. Reading your notes over and over is a complete waste of time. Instead, try to use like Quizlet and quiz yourself, teach the material out loud. So just as you're going through it, just talk yourself through it. Use flashcards with like spaced repetition in between. All those things can really help you actively recall the information and have it process better in your brain. And third is kind of deep work blocks. You study less, but you often learn more. Instead of random half-focused study sessions, set up like 90-minute like work blocks. No distractions, put your phone down on mute, full focus. And after 25 minutes, use a 5-minute break. It's called the Pomodoro technique. This alone will save you hours of just wasted time or potentially you just getting distracted and scrolling on your phone. This third point is about keeping your relationships strong without letting them really distract you. Now, onto your girlfriend. I've been together with mine for 5.5, going on 6 years at this point, and you guys have been together for 1.5 years, which is awesome. It means you're clearly doing something right. But you said you're worried about balancing your relationship with everything else. And here's a trap that I've noticed a lot of guys fall into. They think spending more time equals having a better relationship. That's not true at all. It's not about the time, it's about presence. You can spend 4 hours with your girl, but if you're distracted, stressed, or scrolling on your phone, it's like you weren't even there. Instead, you got to try this, right? Communicate your schedule. If you're slammed, tell her. A strong relationship is built on understanding and agreement. You got to make protected time together. Even if it's just 1 hour every couple days, to be fully present in the moment. And also, you got to mix the productivity with quality time. Study dates, gym sessions together. You got to find ways to bond while things are just getting done and you guys are working on yourself. The goal isn't to give more time, it's to make sure the time you do spend together is meaningful. Now, the fourth point is kind of like a gym and health point, staying in shape without really wasting time. So, you said you've been doing a good job avoiding the freshman 15, and I respect that because you're doing a hell of a lot better than I did, I'll tell you that. But when life gets hectic, fitness is usually the first thing to go, and let's make sure that really doesn't happen because it is important. So, one way to stop this is to do short, effective workouts over long, pointless ones. So instead of a push-pull leg split, do 45-minute strength-focused workouts, and they usually beat 2-hour wandering around sessions. And you got to prioritize your compound lifts, your squats, deadlifts, pull-ups. They hit the most amount of muscle groups for the least amount of time, most bang for your buck, and it's the maximum efficiency you can really do. Now, I'm particularly not a big fan of this, but training in the morning can be a game changer. If you wait until later on, so say 4 p.m. on, life tends to get in the way, and it really does start to affect your sleep. But morning workouts can be great and set the tone for your whole day. And sleep and diet are way more important than you think. No sleep equals no gains. You got to get 7 to 8 hours. And 80% of your progress comes from your diet. Eat like an athlete. Try your best to. Not a broke college student. You can only live on ramen for so long. The gym isn't about looking good, as much as everyone likes to say, and yes, I tend to agree. I train to look good. But most importantly, it's about the mental clarity, the confidence, and kind of a break from everything, like a stress relief. And the last thing, and this is the most important, what you're going through, it's kind of building you. Right now, you're learning how to prioritize when everything feels important, how to manage stress without shutting down and crumbling. and how to stay disciplined even when there's no motivation or that motivation is gone. And that's huge. So instead of seeing this as I'm struggling, start seeing this as I'm kind of leveling up. Because one day you're going to look back at this time in your life and realize, this is where you became the person you needed to be. Alan, and anyone feeling like they're drowning, just breathe. You got it. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing the right things. Now, go out there, handle your business, and if you ever need a reminder, just come back to this video. Thank you so much for listening.